got shot.
It was life and death.
Somebody's killed your son.
I think both sides have to come together.
When it comes to African-American men, we only get the mug shot.
You know, it's abnormal.
Was it really worth it?
You gotta be the tough guy.
Tim Jackson presents How to Kill a Black Man, available on Amazon Prime Direct. This is the No More OGs podcast. From controversial topics to creating financial freedom, we will talk to real people about real situations, providing real solutions. No celebrity endorsements, bringing you unfiltered discussions, dope interviews, and giving you the blueprint to create the culture that you will be proud of. So kick back, turn up the volume, and let's get to it. Here's your host, yours truly, Mr. Purpose on Demand, Mr. Retired at 37, Mr. Tim Jackson. What's going on? It's your man, Tim Jackson. This is the No More OGs podcast. I am your host. You guys, I know y'all like, where this dude been? I promise y'all I have a great excuse why I haven't been here. I'll get into that a little bit later. But today, I have a special guest, man. This one right here is going to be a good show. We got about a bunch of good shows popping up. I'm going to be interviewing the people who participated in the documentary, How to Kill a Black Man. And I have a gentleman who I had the pleasure of meeting during the documentary process. He hails from St. Louis, Missouri, man, the Show Me State. You got to watch him. He's the first person in the documentary. So he opens that thing up like, I mean, he just literally just sets the tone for the documentary. But I want to present to some and introduce to others my guy, my brother, Mr. Ron Santo Cole. What's good with you, my man?
What's up, brother? How you doing, bro?
Man, I'm so glad you're here, man. You know, it's been so much going on. First and foremost, I want to thank you so much for participating in the documentary, man.
Appreciate you having me, for sure.
Man, been getting so many great reviews, so much great feedback, and we about to turn it up, man. I'm about to throw a lot of money into the marketing, see if we can get on some of these TV shows that people watch in the daytime. So we finna make it happen. But in the meantime, between time, we're gonna do it. But man, first and foremost, I want to just give you your flowers right now, because when I reached out to a lot of people about doing this documentary, specifically people from my hood, you know, people that know me, love me, respect me, they wasn't trying to get up on this documentary because, one, many of them haven't really become who they wanted to be.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like you look at the hood and it's like there's really no silver line. There's no happy ending in the hood.
Right.
Like you a hood nigga, you know, and you involved in the streets, and we all know how that ends.
Right.
And then what typically happens is when they become our age, they get up in their late 30s, early 40s, some guys in their 50s, they start having regrets about not being able to, not becoming who they want to become.
Right.
And what I saw was that a lot of dudes was like, man, we love what you're doing, bro, but, you know, I don't feel comfortable getting on camera talking about this. I'm like, man, y'all can talk about this shit in the barbershop every Sunday. Right. I said, we can change names. We can do whatever we need to do to, you know, if there's some statutes of limitations and shit. And I'm not going to ask you no fed-ass questions. Right. But, you know, like a lot of cats was scared to do it. And somebody was like, man, it's a dude named Santo. Oh, man, this dude, he not scared to talk. Right. You know, he ain't gonna get on their high side and pretend like he was somebody he not, but he gonna tell you his story. Right. And then he gonna tell you how he evolved from it. So first things first, appreciate you for that, bro, man, because your part of the documentary was on fire, man. Like it set the tone for the entire documentary, bro.
Hey, I appreciate you having me, for sure. You know what I mean? And that's one thing I always want to feel like I'm bringing to the table is just being authentic.
Yeah.
And you know, I feel like because I've worked so hard to evolve, I don't have a problem speaking on my past. It's gonna help other people. You know what I'm saying? It's gonna bring them some type of closure in some of the things that they doing, or you know, if they felt like, you know, they couldn't make that transition and still be cool or comfortable with themselves. You know what I'm saying, bro? You can, because I mean, like I say, I've done a lot of things in my past, and I've done some great things to move forward in my future, and I'm comfortable, you know what I'm saying, just being who I am to this day, still with making the changes, and even, you know, being a man, you know what I'm saying, and understanding it's okay not to do the same stuff that I used to do, or I ain't always got to show I'm a real nigga and all that stuff, you know what I mean?
No, it's funny you say that, bro, because that's like the going argument every day in black conversation. Right. Is like, are you a real man? Are you a real this and that? And it's just like, well, what's your definition of real? Right. Because everybody has their own definition of real. And then even within the streets, even within the prison system, even within the gang culture, no matter where you go, even if you were in the corporate sector, you went the other way, and you went to college and pledged the fraternity or sorority. Right. Like there's still a pecking order, and there's still going to be people within those circles who are going to invalidate your realness.
Right.
Like, you know what I'm saying?
I think it's important to be real to yourself, and real to your responsibilities, and real to the other people that you responsible to, but that also comes with like your age and your growth and development. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't do the same things that I used to do, you know, that I thought was keeping it real, it could be keeping it real for somebody that's 17, 18, 19. You know what I'm saying? But keeping it real for me is my real responsibilities, taking care of what I'm supposed to take care of. That's keeping it real to me. You know what I mean? And so I guess you're right as far as like people saying being real and the real nigga and this and that, but it's like at some point your definition has to evolve with yourself.
Oh, man.
You know what I mean? Your definition has to evolve with you.
Let's talk about that, man.
You know what I mean?
Let's talk about that. A lot of people don't understand the benefit of evolution and being like, I can't look back. Like, I was in the military. A lot of my friends that I went to the military with are retiring now, meaning that they put 20 years into the game, bro. And I've been talking to a lot of them lately, and they just like, man, I'm like, what's the biggest thing? Like, getting ready to transition from the military to civilian life. It's like, how much I've changed. Like, bro, I can't go back home. One of my friends said, I ain't going back home. I'm like, why you not going back home? Like, what's the point? Like, I love my family. I love my people, but I ain't going back home because
they're not used to it.
They're not used to it.
They act like, you know, they want the best for you, but they want you to be the same to them. You know what I mean? And there's so much drama as far as like you change and this and that. Well, you know, don't I want to, you know what I'm saying?
Isn't that the purpose? Isn't that the point?
I'm supposed to change. I'm supposed to evolve. You know, another thing about the man thing is like, you know, everybody's a grown man. Well, also there's a point where you want to be a growing man. You know what I mean? You don't want to be
say that again, bro.
You want to be a growing man. You don't want to be done growing. You know what I'm saying? So I like to refer to myself a lot of times as a growing man as well. You know what I mean? I don't know everything.
Let's park there. Let's park. I ain't never heard nobody put it that way. So a lot of people say I'm a grown man. I always think about that little meme with that little boy. I'm a man. I'm a grown. You know what I'm talking about? Little dude. And it's like,
and that's a big thing for everybody is to be a grown man,
and especially in the black community because we was grown at 18. You know, I moved out the house at 17, bro. 17 years old, I moved out of my mom's house and went to the military, and I like it was important for me to have my own shit. It was important for me to be grown. But honestly, I learned through that process that being grown, my definition, was probably the worst thing I could have did at the time financially, because what I noticed
doing yourself a disservice.
When I got into corporate, bro, I always tell this story. I worked for a Korean-owned company, and their whole pecking order was totally different. Their culture, like when they graduate high school, you go to the military for 2 years, then you go to college for 4 years, then you get a job, and then for the next 4 years, you live with your parents, stack your money.
You said you was in Korea?
I work for a Korean company. I've been to Korea before. I deployed over there.
Yeah, okay.
But the culture was interesting because everyone did the exact same thing, and they didn't even get married until they got 30. And then they married somebody that did the exact same thing. So now we both been living with our parents the last couple of years. We both done saved up $200,000-$300,000. Now we walking into a whole situation where we ain't got no debt. We paid off everything and we married. Like, that's the way you, in my opinion, you need to start. But I wanted to be grown. I had bills at 18.
Yeah, it's a structure, you know what I'm saying, that they live by. You know what I'm saying? It's not about just all this crazy amount of independence and this and that. And like, you know, like you say, I want to be grown and I want to do my own thing. But you're really shooting yourself in the foot. You know what I mean? When there's an opportunity to actually be, you know what I'm saying, coming out of the house or, you know, onto your own well off. You know what I mean? Because that gives you an opportunity to give back and all the other stuff to your own family. So you want to continue to be growing, you know what I'm saying? A lot before you just out doing your own thing.
That's going to be my new thing, man. I'm not a grown man. I'm a growing man, man. Like, because you have to grow. And let's segue into that because, you know, in the documentary, you talked about how you evolved. Ooh, excuse me, I'll probably have to cut that out. You talk about how you evolved. Right. You talked about how, you know, you was in St. Louis hustling as a teenager. You moved out of St. Louis, went to another place in Missouri, and you got caught up. And you said you just kept seeing the same things. You had this idea of what being grown was. You had this idea of what being a man was. It was hard to take advice and correction from some of the older dudes because they weren't doing the right thing. Like talk about who you are, where you're from, and how you got to the point to where you decided that growing was more important than being grown.
Yeah, so I mean, just kind of being from Missouri and being hard-headed and just, you know, deciding that I wanted to do my own thing. Just like from moving to St. Louis, moving to another city, Columbia, Missouri, I kind of just took back from any type of like actual structure of like you know, people above me. You know what I'm saying? Once I got to be able to move around and get to know people, I was decided, you know, that I was going to, you know, just take my own path. And it was the wrong way for a lot of wrong reasons, but it was right to me. You know what I'm saying? I thought I was grown. I thought that I had the best knowledge and decisions for myself. You know what I mean? Because I did have an end vision of what I was going to do. You know what I mean? But it's like the path that I took to get there was the long one, the hard one, the dumb one. You know what I mean? There's a lot of acronyms for it, but you know, I really think that it molded me into the person that I was, and I think just kind of going at it too fast without any type of, you know, guidance is what took me to, you know, down that bad road. But I mean, you know, I learned a lot for sure. Yeah. You know what I mean? That kind of took me to this person that I am today. I think we all have some type of person or some type of desire or greatness inside of us. It's the dumb stuff that we do on the way to being that person. I feel like I still would have been an entrepreneur. I still would have been the person I am today. It just would have been a lot easier. I would have got there a lot faster. I'll be a lot further today.
And you know what, man? You talking some real stuff, because a lot of us, you know, I say the same thing, man. I tell people my entrepreneurial journey started when I was 10 years old, man. You know what I'm saying? Same. Playing the drums at my church. My uncle paid me, you know, a weekly balance. Then I would take that money to the dollar store and, you know, buy candy for $1 and sell it for $2.
I used to burn CDs.
Burning CDs.
I used to burn CDs. Yeah. I used to go to school and get people playlists. And they, you know, from they write it on notebook paper, they give it to me. Yeah. I go to the crib, burn it, and you know, bring it back. They pay me $2-3, bro. I've been an entrepreneur my whole life.
I'm telling you, man. You can go buy 100 pack of CDs for $10 and then sell them things $2 a piece.
And then my stepdaddy started hating, and he tried to charge me for electricity, and it was his computer.
It's always, it be your own people, man. But no, you know, I say that to say, like, it's already in us. It's just like, nobody's there really guiding us. And that's the whole purpose of this platform, No More OGs. Like, our goal here on this platform is to find that hustler, to find that person that really, really want to evolve and become the best version of themselves, and give them guidance from the standpoint of someone who looks like them, who's actually done it. And one thing I can say, I watch people, bro. I'm really big on sitting back, watching people, and seeing how they move. I've watched you for a while.
I feel like I feel like I felt that energy. You know what I'm saying? I'm like Tim tapping into a lot of my Instagram stories.
Yeah. Well, I've been
good.
I watch you from other.
I watch you too.
Absolutely.
Bro. We learning from each other and building and, you know, ideas.
Let me tell you one thing that I like about you. So in the documentary, this ain't no spoiler alert. You know, you talk about how you got caught up at a young age and, you know, you got locked up. I don't know if you actually got convicted or you just was kind of sitting in county.
Different stuff,
right? And you said that eventually it just got old. Like, eventually, like, you looked at yourself and like, what am I doing? Like,
I was in a courtroom.
Yeah.
And the lady was talking to me and I could barely hear her. You know what I'm saying? Like, she was doing sentencing or whatever, but I couldn't hear her because in my mind, all I was thinking was, bro, I'm tired of this shit, bro. Yeah. Like, I'm tired of being in front of these white people. Sorry, that's what it is. I'm tired of being in front of these white people and let them dictate what's about to happen to my life. Yeah. And then, like, the next thing I know, she like, Mr. Cole. I was like, yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, I couldn't hear it no more because I was tired of it, like you said, bro. Like, it was the same thing over and over and over, and I was done with that shit, bro.
And this is where I was going with that. I don't think I've ever seen you glorified.
I mean,
I don't think I've ever seen you make a post like, I used to be over here, but now look at me. And I think that's why I fool with you, because not to say that you can't, but what I see a lot within the culture is that we get sold the idea that you have to be both. Right. You gotta be, you can be an entrepreneur, but you still gotta be loyal to the hood. Right. You still gotta be a street nigga. You still gotta pop off when you need to pop off. And it's like, we the only people that subscribe to that, bro. Like, and I'm not saying that other people don't. Like, this isn't a shit on us to elevate other people. No. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about if we really trying to move in different areas and different lanes, it's certain things that you just can't take with you. Right. It's certain people that you just can't take with you. It's certain things like, that's no different than a person in the streets. If you in the streets and some guy walk up to you like, hey, bud, I was looking to buy a 3.5 gram of the killer. Right.
like, bro, I don't know what you talking about, bro.
I don't know. I have no clue.
I don't know what you talking about.
You ain't gonna allow a dude like that to come at you in the streets. Right. So why do we expect for that lane that we trying to get into where the real money is? Right. You know, the contracts. You know, just some of the things that we hear about, we see on the surface, but we not really getting into these worlds because one, we not in these spaces.
Right.
And it's not about. I've learned that. literally, if you show up to the space, people will tell you everything you need to know. But we don't show up to the spaces because we don't feel comfortable in those spaces. Right. So we hold on to the hood shit to keep that comfortability. But then, as you know, as long as you stay comfortable, you're going to be stuck.
Right, and that should tell you something about the person or the man. You know what I mean?
Talk to him.
You always have to feel like you only the man, you know what I'm saying, when you in one setting versus the other. You know what I'm saying? When you're a real man, you can walk around anywhere you need to, you know what I mean, and discuss and develop and show who you are. Even if you in some place you don't really know too much, you can still sit there and feel like a man learning. You know what I'm saying? I still feel like a man when I'm learning. You know what I'm saying? So I don't need to feel like I can only be comfortable in a certain place. And to go into what you said about boasting it or showing it, like, that's who I was. That's still in me. You know what I mean? So I don't need to fake it. You know what I'm saying? I don't need to prove to you, you know what I'm saying, I'm real or I've been through this. I don't need to discuss everything. Like, I might make a poster that show my mug shot or whatever, but in a segue, it show where I'm at today. You know what I mean? But again, that's to motivate, to inspire, let people know, like, hey, I've been there, you know what I'm saying? So I am authentic enough to be like, I've been there and I'm here now, but I don't need to sit there and just talk about it over and over because if I wanted that, I should have stayed there.
You should have stayed. So let's talk about that. Why is it that, and I'm not talking about a certain color, I'm talking about the culture itself. Right. Why is it that the culture requires that from us? Like, if you a black man, this is the only culture that requires a black man to be on that hood nigga shit, regardless of where he is. It requires a black woman to have a tie to the hood or be about that nigga shit, no matter where she is. Like, I be seeing stuff, and maybe I'm extra, bro, and let's not get it twisted, y'all. I don't talk about my past. I don't glorify anything that I was ever involved in. I think that's kind of, me personally, I just don't do it. I understand why people do it because they want to draw people in, but that's not my thing because I understand that draw, for me, will only get you so far. But what I say all that to say this is, like, when I see pictures, man, and I'm that dude, I'm an old grandpa, get off my lawn. When I see, like, the lady get her PhD, black lady, and then she make a post, and it's like, hey, I'm here with my PhD. And then, like, it's like a sliding picture, but then it's her throwing up her hood. You know what I'm saying? But I'm still, like, why? Like, why are you doing it? Or you see the dude, you know, he becomes a doctor, you know, a medical doctor or a pharmacist. And it's like, okay, I got my pharmacy shit going on. Then it's like, but I'm still from Trey 5, and, you know, like, bro, that's not even necessary, my dude. Like, why do you feel the need to?
I mean, so again, like, look, I mean,
is he leaving people behind?
I'm saying, look,
is he being like, what is he doing? Hold on, real quick, let me see. Like, what is he doing?
No,
man?
I mean, at the same time, you know, it's like, you know, for some people, you know, sometimes that shit just jump out. You know what I mean? So, I'm gonna be honest.
So let me give you an example. So I'm in a fraternity. I'm not gonna say what fraternity I'm in. I'm in a fraternity, and it's a black fraternity. What I noticed with the black fraternities and the black sororities versus with non-black fraternities and black sororities, after you graduate, that's it with the other ones. With us, it's for life, right?
So isn't necessarily true though, because they still use it to get into jobs.
That's a fact.
You know, and all these other locations.
It's just not loud.
I think it's not the culture, the way you're gonna stand it up, you're gonna throw it up, you're gonna jump around. You know what I mean? I think that's because
I ain't gonna lie.
You don't know.
You
don't know. It's almost like they are the true secret societies in their, you know what I mean? In their fraternities and sororities, is like they keep it secret. You know what I mean? They don't want you to know that John signed off on me to get this job because we both.
I got it. Okay. You give me some game. You give me some game. I'll take that.
I think that's just to that note. And I've never been in one. I wanted to, but again, I was still running the street.
Yeah.
But again, as far as like, you know, people still throwing stuff up and repping their hoods and this and that. I mean, I still feel like people want to represent in a certain way. It's just really how you do it and when you do it. Now,
let me ask you something. I want you to finish that thought, but I'm going to ask you something. Because you've been in positions where you have to hire people. People work for you, right?
Right.
So when you see somebody coming along that you're about to employ, that you're about to give a bag to, that you're about to put in a position to win, that's going to represent you in meetings, it's going to represent you in situations. If you see that they just can't let go of that street shit, they got, like, would you hire them? Would you put them in a position to win economically? How would that work for you?
I would try to dive deeper. You know what I'm saying? At the first cusp, if I'm got this mass hiring going on and I'm just hiring a bunch of people, then no. You know what I'm saying? But if I got time to dig deeper, you know what I'm saying, to get to know your situation and see what it is, then we'll start you somewhere. You know what I mean? But just off the cusp, because I shouldn't really intentionally know that in the first place from just meeting you, trying to hire you or whatever like that. You know what I mean?
No, that's deep.
Like it's places. You know what I'm saying? It's just different places that you. It's the way you carry yourself. I don't care what you say. It's different ways that you carry yourself at different times and different settings. You know what I mean?
I call it cultural pressures, right? Because it's like I used to tell people when I was a zoning commissioner. I'll never forget one time I went down to the city of Dallas headquarters. City Hall is what they call it. And I was just like this, man. I had on like a T-shirt, my tats were showing. I had on some Air Forces or some Nikes or whatever, and nobody spoke to me. I think I had on a hat and some shades. I came down the very next day. Hey, and I was dressed up because we had a meeting. Hey, Commissioner Jackson, blah, blah, blah. And I'm just like, I was just here yesterday, right? So what I learned in that moment was like, people are they've been completely trained to disregard or not take you seriously if you're not presenting yourself. And it's not about presenting yourself to look white. It's not about presenting yourself to be something you're not. It's just presenting yourself in a way that will make a person want to give you some bread.
You gotta have that mindset. You gotta know where you at and what you're doing and how to present yourself.
Situational awareness,
and just like don't be a fucking dummy. You know what I mean? Like I'm not finna go and be trying to network and build myself to put myself in a position to get millions of dollars.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? For street clothes. You know what I mean? And I don't think even a white person would do it. You know what I mean? They wouldn't come in no boat shoes and all that other shit. They don't got nothing to do with white and black. It's like, all right, where we at?
Where
you know
we
what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Where we at and how we finna maneuver the game. You know what I'm saying? And then on top, don't play yourself trying to be real all the time. You know what I'm saying? You playing yourself out of position because you want to keep it real and be caught up in a cultural pressure, and you taking cultural pressure for people who haven't made it to where you at.
Damn.
I would never take cultural pressure for people who haven't been through what I've been through, made the sacrifices that I have. I decided to not, you know what I'm saying, do those same things so I can take myself to that other level. So why the hell would I let you pressure me and make a difference when you can't make a difference for your damn self?
No, it's funny, man, because like I would have these conversations with people, and it's always people in my comments or people that have never met me. You know, like, what have you done? It's just like, bro, I have a long track record of making sure that everything I'm doing is going to benefit young black men, right? I put up money. You can go find the receipts. Right. But what happens is that cultural pressure, they'll see something, a post. They'll see something that didn't fit their paradigm. They'll see something that didn't make them feel good about themselves, and then they'll come and attack the messenger or what's going on without even taking a step back. And my thing is, y'all, you have to be more discreet. You have to show a little bit more discretion when you really trying to climb that back. It is unrealistic to expect for
in a corporate setting,
or anywhere. No, hear me out. It's unrealistic to expect that if you believe that you are being completely disenfranchised by a group of people, that they're going to wake up one day and have a kind heart. Right. You got to finesse. You have to at some point in the game realize, oh, the way we playing this game ain't working for me. So let me do what I need to do to change. It's kind of like basketball. I always use the analogy of basketball. If you go back and watch a basketball game from the 60s versus today, it's two different games. They were bouncing the ball straight up and down. They couldn't do certain things. What happened was that competition committee, every year, they just made a subtle change. They made a subtle change. And that's why I've been trying to tell my people, like, when I see young black men, I'm like, hey, man, what you want to do with your life? Man, I want to rap. I want to do this. Okay, I like that idea. What you going to have to fall back on? Well, what you mean? Like, well, I got a job. No. Like, have you ever thought about government contracts? Like, the government is the largest outsourcer of work, and they paying millions of dollars. Have you ever thought about getting in logistics or getting into real estate or doing something? And it's never a backup plan, but it's always being loyal to this idea of something that never materializes, man. You can jump in any time, bro, because I will run.
And then I think a lot of it is have to do with, you know, they want the same stuff. They just see one way to get it. You know what I mean? It's like, there's other ways to get it and still be authentic to yourself. Just like entrepreneurship is becoming the new cool now, you know what I'm saying? Which is cool, which is good. You know what I mean? It's just that they see that as work. They see that as responsibility. So now let me rap because I still want to be able to kick it, but make the millions. You know what I mean? Let me play football because I want to kick it and make the millions.
Is that realistic? Being
You
where you
dwindle
are
down
now.
your opportunities. You know what I'm saying? In a room for 1,000 man, you know what I'm saying? 0 probably make it to the NFL, NBA, make it in rapping. You know what I'm saying?
That's real.
But 20 of them, you know what I'm saying, 30 of them, 40 of them could become millionaires in entrepreneurships or different type of jobs and opportunities. And guess what they still can do? You know what I'm saying? Have the cars they want, have the women they want, have the lifestyle they want. Because that's what they really want is everybody still want the lifestyle. They still want to take care of their moms and all this other stuff. But they see 1, 2, 3 ways to get it. You know what I'm saying? Use the ball or rap. That's it. And like I say, it's a mindset of a culture in general. So we gotta change the mindset, make a subtle change. You know what I mean? Get other things in front of their faces. Like I say, when I started running the streets, I was disconnected from St. Louis. You know what I mean? So I didn't have my uncles and all these other people in my face. You know, every day for me to see or talk to, I was almost by myself. You know what I'm saying? Especially when I got away from St. Louis, I'm doing my own thing, you know what I mean? So it's just
you just saw a handful of options, right?
Yeah,
it's like this is what I'm good at, this is what I know,
and this is what I can get done now and start doing now. You know what I mean? I want the money now. You know what I mean? I can make some type of plan, but then that'll be all the way over there. I need to be doing what I need to do right now, and it needs to start working right now.
So let's talk about that, man. Because do you think that's realistic?
Which part?
The right now.
I think that's the realistic problem.
Knowing what you know right now. Knowing, because me and you come from a similar background. Like, you from St. Louis and you spend time in Columbia. I'm from Dallas. I grew up in East Dallas, Pleasant Grove. I needed that money right then.
Right.
Like, and it wasn't like we were just poor, but I knew I wanted a certain lifestyle.
And I wanted my own stuff.
I wanted my own stuff. And if I was smart, I would have went off to the military, came back home, and stayed at home for 4 or 5 years and stacked my bread. I didn't. Right. I'm okay with that. But it's like the hurdle that I figure or that I run into a lot, bro, is having these conversations with younger versions of me. Right. Like when I go to the school, I ask kids, specifically black school, like, hey, what you want to be when you grow up? I want to rap, or I want to be a ball player. Okay, all right. I've been on TMZ with a client who's a ball player, and I don't have posts go viral with rappers that you know. So, you know, them holding my book. Okay, so if you don't make it there, then what do you want to do? Well, I don't know. Have you ever thought about getting a job down at the city? It's not about how much you make, it's what you do with the money. And that's what I'm trying to explain to people, because when I came in from the military, I got a job at a call center, bro, making $12 an hour, but I knew I wanted to get into real estate investment. Right. So I adjusted my life based on
what you had to do.
What I want to do.
Yeah, you had to decide, like, all right, what do I need to sacrifice right now for the long run? Yeah. But back to the right now is when you 14, 15, 16, what can you do right now? I can jump, I can run, I can shoot a ball, I can write some words on the paper. You know what I'm saying? So I'm going to use what I think I got right now to take me to another place. Right now, I'm not smart. You know what I'm saying? Right now, I don't know how to be a lawyer. Right now, I don't know how to, you know what I'm saying, be a doctor. I don't know how to be an entrepreneur so much right now. So if I don't know how to do that right now, how am I putting that towards what I see myself and my life in the future? You know what I mean? They need to figure out that, listen, you can get these skills right now, and then earlier in life, you know what I'm saying, when you 20, 25, you done already been stock trading since you was 14. So yeah, by the time you're 21, you could be a millionaire. You know what I'm saying? It's something legit because you done started with something that's easier to, or that's just as easy to obtain if you start right now. But they so focused on, I can jump right now, I can get on the basketball team right now. So I think that's what's going to take me to the NBA, take me to riches.
You talking, man, like I never looked at it from that perspective. From the mind of a child. Because as a child, man, let me tell you something.
Let me cut you off right there, bro. I read something one day that said anytime you need to think or thoughts, you know what I'm saying, or get to an idea, get to the other side of an idea, is think like a child. Because, you know, we are worked our mind to only think a certain way. You can see like one of them abstract pictures and you take it to a kid and you say, what you see in this? And they can give you 1,000 things. But adults, we only see 3 or 4 things in this abstract picture. So sometimes it is very important to think like a kid because you open up your mind.
That's real, man. I knew as a kid that I was trash in basketball. I knew I was trash in football. Let me tell you, man, I tried out for the football team, bro. I wanted to be a running back. Mind you, I'm from Dallas. This is when the Cowboys was actually winning Super Bowls, bro. I was alive to see them Super Bowls.
Right.
Bro, I went to that practice, bro. They never played football a day in my life. They put me in. First thing they gave was they gave me a linebacker number. So I'm wearing like 54.
Trying to run the ball.
And bro, we got this dude that really played football. He was like, yeah, we're going to do a head-up drill. He was a real running back. After that practice, I said, listen, man, this shit ain't for me, man. It ain't for me. You know what I'm saying?
In St. Louis, we call it hamburger.
Yeah.
And, you know, that's when you line up hammer to hammer. They blow the whistle. Whoever get up the fastest probably finna turn the other person who asshole.
Yeah.
But, you know what I'm saying, that. And we also played Killer Man.
Yeah.
But we played in the streets, so we play in the streets all day, every day.
But that's the thing.
I'm going to go play on the team. I've been hitting niggas with no helmet on all week.
Bro, I was so cold at the yard ball. Like, we call it the throw-up tackle, where we ain't had no football. You just throw the paper up. I was breaking tackles, but when it came time for that structure, when it came time to put those pads on, you know, run a play, I right 21 dive, going up certain hole, I had no clue how much I didn't know about the sport. And then you go one wrong hole, that's it.
And that's a lot of people's problem, structure. Like that for me.
Yeah.
I didn't study none of my plays when I played football. So I made it right up to sophomore year of high school. It's like, bro, we give you the ball and you doing your thing.
Yeah.
But every time we get out the hustle, I have to ask the person next to me what I'm supposed to do.
Yeah.
Structure.
It's that structure, man.
Yeah.
And so I knew young what I wasn't good at.
That's why I'm a good entrepreneur. You know what I'm saying? I like to figure out myself. I make my own structure.
That literally. So once I realized that I ain't gonna be good at that, I had to ask myself, what can I be good at? And the next thing, honestly, was either hustling in the streets or going to the military. That's what I saw in my neighborhood. I saw people going off to the military or hustlers. Like that was it. So I was like, well, I ain't trying to go to jail. You know, I mean, I did some shit I probably had no business doing. And I said, that ain't for me. That ain't for me. And then one thing about it though, also back then, and the whole premise of this show, No More OGs, is I feel like we had OGs back then. Like I had old heads from my hood pulling me to the side, like saying, bro, this ain't for you. Like you can get it if you want to, but I'm telling you right now, like it's something different about you. Like I can't say that about such and such and such and such. Yeah. You actually have a future. They could see it. They didn't want to be us.
And I just feel like the culture in general was more of an OG. You know what I'm saying? The rappers was talking about some stuff a little bit more different. Even if they was talking about street stuff, you know what I'm saying? It's just about the way you need to go about it. You know what I'm saying? It has some structure. It's a pecking order. You can't just go, you know, women and children and old folks. You know what I'm saying? You don't mess with that.
There was a rule. There was a code.
Some rules.
It ain't no codes no more, bro.
They killed all the real ones, the strong ones or whatever. Then they locked up the smart ones. You know what I'm saying? They divided and whatnot. So now it's just
chaos.
No structure, is chaos every day. And so there's nobody to actually follow to, you know what I'm saying, give you no real guidance from in the streets. Like even if your uncles and them was chilling on the block and you was on the block, they knew something because they was young before. Now they not even on the block. So
they didn't want you to go through what they were going through.
Exactly.
And we didn't see that until later on in life. Right. And like I said, I had a real good homeboy of mine. I haven't talked to him in a minute, you know. But you know, he kept going that route. You know what I'm saying? He said, you know what, man, this is what I'm good at. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And no matter, I mean, I interviewed him, we sat down, we talked during when I wrote my book. And I'm like, bro, you were one of the smartest people I know, bro. Like, real estate is logistics. Like, I'm telling you, I can get you into one house and then you could just take this to another level. He said, man, I'm gonna be real with you, bro. This is my homeboy, look me dead in my face. He said, I'm good at selling dope and pimping hoes. He said, that's all I'm good at. And I don't care how many times I done been to prison a couple times. Like, I'm good at this shit. Like, that real estate shit is for you. It broke me a little bit because it's just like, bro, we come from the same spot. But it's a mentality.
Sometimes you already know that's how I go, bro. Some people, they just don't want it. You know what I mean? I know a dude that I went to high school with. I'm talking about not just smart. He was like a genius, but he was a street dude. And he used to get money. He used to get a lot of money. Like, he used to come into class, ain't been in class for 2 weeks, 3 weeks, answer questions. You know what I'm saying? Just off the flip. You know what I'm saying? But he was a street dude, and he used his intelligence for what he wanted to. Yeah. And again, he didn't want to go down that path. And what else could you do? You know what I'm saying? It sucks because you one of the smartest black men I know type stuff, and you just want to.
You want to be
do
a street
your
nigga.
own thing, and then they put you in a box for years.
What
and
happened
years
to
and
him?
years.
He's still alive?
Bro, in the box.
So I knew
in prison though. Let's say, you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I don't want he in prison. He ain't dead, but
I knew a dude like that, man. One of the smartest dudes you ever meet. His brothers was in the dope game, so he kind of got into the
his
family
brothers
business.
was in the dope game.
This dude was pulling up to the school. I'm talking about this was back in the late '90s, so he was pulling up to the schools and
Dope fiend rentals,
bro. this dude as a junior in high school had like I want to say it was like a '81 Cadillac coupe. The big boy Cadillac on some thing. I mean, like he was coming to school in different cars every day. I'm talking about as a junior, senior high school.
Yep.
They end up getting out, built an empire. Y'all read into that as much as you want to. And then he got killed like 4 or 5 years ago. Just like literally they found him sitting in his driveway with the car running.
Damn.
You know what I'm saying? It's like one of the smartest dudes. Everybody was like, man, like we would have thought.
And that's what I don't be understanding, bro. Like there at one point in time, bro, even with selling drugs and dealing drugs, the point was to take that to wherever you need to take it to, then get out and do something else. Open a business or something else. You know what I mean? So for me to...
You supposed to Uncle Luke it.
Yeah,
like you think about Uncle Luke. Uncle Luke, 2 Live Crew, they went through hell with the 2 Live Crew. Right. I mean, literally laws were put in place to shut them up.
Right, of course.
Luke got his money, and he never made another song. He took that money back to the hood, start putting into sports programs, start putting into other stuff.
Yeah.
You don't even see him performing them songs no more.
Right.
That's how it's supposed to be, right?
I mean, sometimes you do gotta do certain. I don't say you have to, but sometimes you do certain things to get you to a certain point. You know what I mean? But be smart enough to understand this don't last forever.
Nah.
Like you shouldn't even be thinking that way. You know what I'm saying? You should have enough knowledge to understand. Like, okay, if I'm gonna keep doing this, I gotta do this to have some type of exit plan. You know what I'm saying? No, if you don't have no plan, then you basically plan to fail from jump.
That don't matter what you do. Let's segue into the documentary a little bit, man. So I put you in my documentary because the documentary How to Kill a Black Man, which is out right now on Amazon Prime.
Yes, sir.
Go get it. You can rent it. You can buy it. Check us out. But the whole premise behind the documentary is just examining different ways to metaphorically or physically kill a black man. And your segment was essentially, I brought you in. I purposely put you first. Like when we were going through the pecking order of who I was going to start the documentary off, I want to start off with you because your story was probably, in my opinion, the most relatable. Mm-hmm. You was a young dude, grew up in the hood, so to speak. I hate using that term, but it is what it is. You made mistakes. Mm-hmm. You knew you were going to be successful. You just didn't know how. So you went the route you knew to go. And you woke up one day and was like, this ain't it. So you dedicated your life to not being that person, but being someone else, but also showing people, hey, man, you can also do this too. Now, let's talk about that. I'm going to ask you something. One of my biggest struggles in this world is convincing the wrong people to do the right thing. I feel like when you get into this lane as a black person or any person, you see the building on fire, right? You know how the story ends, Santo.
Right.
And it's like, yo, don't walk through that burning building. And people like, fuck it, I'm walking that burning building. Right. I'm burning the fuck out of myself. Like, what do you struggle with, like, telling your story to people knowing they not going to listen, or telling your story to people like, they finna walk into a brick wall? Like, how do you maneuver that as a person, as a mentor, as someone who's been through a lot of shit? Like, you've been through a lot, bro. Man,
I feel I definitely have been through a lot. That's for sure. I feel like
the whites call it trauma. That's right. We all on the mental health kick now, right? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but hey, it is this Man's Mental Health Month. I sent some stuff out today.
It is Mental Health Month.
Man's Mental Health. But just as far as like, I really feel like everybody has a point, a breaking point. You know what I'm saying? Some people's breaking point might be a long ways away. They might have to do 10 years, 20 years, or, you know what I'm saying, they might not make it to living. They might have just kept going till they was in a position where they, got killed or something like that. But for me, and like you say, I think I'm relatable to people and whatnot, but I think a lot of people have the same, general traits in general, right? Traits in general.
Talk about that. What you mean?
Okay, so what I mean is, like, everybody gets to a point where it's like, all right, bro, I'm tired of this shit. You know what I'm saying? I'm tired of going through the same stuff. This is not working. I'm not finna keep being a dummy. I'm not finna keep turning right, hitting the head. Turn right again, hitting the head. You know what I'm saying? I feel like at some point that's when people would make the change. So just kind of what you said about speaking to people and feel like it's hard after I'm not waking somebody up, or how do I just keep preaching the same thing and I feel like I'm not getting enough results? I feel like at some point it's just gonna have to be on you.
It's gonna be on you.
You know what I'm saying?
Man.
Even like now when I talk about people getting money or people being broke, I'm like, bro, it's so many things out here for you to tap into. It's so much stuff on Instagram. You just not picking up a book. You're not getting some information. You on Instagram for hours and hours. There's no reason like you shouldn't have something going on, or at least wake up yourself to start doing something different. So as far as like people go, I don't get exhausted with it. You know what I'm saying? I feel like I'm still doing my thing, still fulfilling. The ones that's gonna wake up now gonna wake up now. The ones that's gonna be here to wake up later, they gonna wake up too. You gonna wait one way or the other.
You don't have to convince your target audience, right?
No, exactly. Hell no. You know what I'm saying? It's gonna hit where it's supposed to hit. You know what I'm saying?
You know, that's what I struggle with. I struggle with like you know, you don't have to convince the wrong people to do the right thing.
Right.
Like, or the right people do the wrong thing. Like, if people gonna pick it up, they're gonna pick it up. Like, even with me, when I hit my breaking point, the first thing I did was went to the internet and Googled what I needed and found what I needed. Like, so I literally operate in a space now, Santo. It's not on me to convince you. Like, you,
right. And I don't feel
if
sorry for you,
if I put
bro.
it in front of you and you don't pick that shit up, that's
you
not
see what
on
I
me.
posted the other day?
What'd you post?
Well, I posted like last October, I posted the stock prices for Apple, Google, Facebook.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? This was last October. 2 days ago, I posted the video of what I said, and then now, Facebook was at like $90. It's $315 now. And what I said at the bottom of the post, I gave you the information.
Yeah.
What else you want me to do for you?
But you know what? You know what it is though? We expect for the information to come from a perfect person. That person has to be just like us. They have to go through what we go through. Like, we have to feel this person. And I've learned more. I'm going to say this. I'm looking at the camera when I say this shit. I've learned more and made more money from people that don't have nothing in common with me than I ever have. I'm going to tell you why. Because when you get around a bunch of people that's got shit in common with you and they think like you, they going to have your flaws. And what you have as a flaw, it's not going to work in certain systems.
Your blind spot.
You got to get into a different system and see how they doing it. Like, if I subscribe to a certain political ideology, I don't ever listen to that shit on the radio or watch it on the news.
Right.
I always watch the opposition.
Right.
Because one, you need to know what your opposition is doing.
Right.
But two, they may have the answer to some shit that you don't have because they think differently. They gonna go a different direction, and that may change your whole life. It has for me.
Exactly.
So
yeah, no, that's the truth. We all conditioned to stay in the same place, deal with the same people who had the same ideas. So you can't seem to move past your situation. Well, look, you keep getting the same information over and over and over. You seeing the same things over and over and over. You know, a lot of my skill set or the way of thinking, I learned from reading books of people who are not even alive today. You know what I'm saying? So you say, looking at different people in opposition, you know, and then come on, we got to stop putting ourselves in the same situations, same room, same people. You know what I mean? If you the person talking in every room you go to, all you doing is spitting out the same information. You're not getting any new information. Yeah. I like to be in places where somebody look at me and they be like, you know, sometimes you don't got something to say. A man said it to me one time because he took me to a place with a lot of other people and I'm trying to keep up with the conversation, not trying to seem like I don't know nothing, but he was like, bro, sometimes you don't have nothing to say. What he was telling me is like, we're in a new place. I want you to learn something. I want you to tap into this information that these people who are already millionaires made it. You know what I'm saying? I want you to get some information from them. And those are the type of places I like to subscribe to, as you say, and be in. It's places where I can get some new knowledge and new information because every day we still trying to go up and it's new battles. And if all I got is the same information, how I'm gonna get out these new predicaments?
Nah, that's real, man. I preached that to my son. I said, man, you got to go into the room and play dumb. Like, you don't have to. One of the things I struggle with, bro, my whole life was talking too much. And I always knew it would get me somewhere good, but that shit did not feel like it when I was in school. I was always on punishment. And then after I got out of school, man, like I would get into these rooms and I felt like I would need to overcompensate. Mm-hmm. And
that's definitely a big part of it.
That's a huge part of it, bro. And so then as I got older, I learned to walk in the room and just shut the fuck up and just watch. And what I also learned is when you do that, people gravitate towards you. Because a person of power, a person with influence, a person with money, a person that has the answers, They want to be around a motherfucker that's gonna listen.
Right.
I mean, it's just a fact.
Oh, bro, that's another look, man. How to Win Friends and Influence People. That's a book, bro. People love to talk about themselves. You know what I'm saying? So if you're trying to get close to somebody who you want to build with, you know what I'm saying? Be a listening ear. You know what I'm saying? They gonna talk and tell you how they got it and how they got this and that. And then, you know, I like to be the strong, silent type sometimes too. You know what I'm saying? I move a lot of places by myself.
Yeah,
so
you always solo, man.
Yeah, so I'm always listening and learning and getting information. So I learned that a while ago. You know what I mean? There's no point of being by yourself and then trying to control the room. You know what I'm saying? Everybody like, who is this guy?
Who
you know
is this
what I'm
guy,
saying?
man?
So sometimes it's just good to be like soaking up information. You know?
It's not hard to spot the food when you open your mouth.
Bro,
you know what I'm saying?
Exactly, bro. Like you are giving so much information every time you talk. So if you want to be authentic, you want to be your true self. If you don't got nothing to say, don't say
Don't
it,
say
bro.
anything at all. Man, I want to ask you something, man. How do you feel about celebrities, rappers, entertainers being the voice for the culture? Like being the person that people show up to get answers from and like essentially structuring and living their life based on what these people are saying? Because you're seeing now, especially in the social media influencer world, like a lot of these influencers and celebrities are getting put on blast. And I don't mind naming a few because it's in the news. If you feel some kind of way, you feel some kind of way. Like we see the big thing that's going on with Caesar and DJ Envy, which from a standpoint, from my personal opinion, I don't think DJ Envy did no raggedy shit. I think he genuinely wanted to see his people win, but he chose the wrong person to work with. And then you think about like, there's the trucking guru chick, you know, she just got put on blast like crazy. She out of Dallas right now. I don't know her. Again, I don't know you. I don't want no smoke, but don't bring it. You know, I ain't that dude. I'm telling the people that's watching.
No, you don't care. That's my people, though.
You know what I'm saying? Oh, you know her?
Yeah, that's my people.
So you mind having a conversation about that?
Hey, look, that ain't my business to just have a whole bunch of conversation about. But like, what I do say is, the bigger you get, the more problems it's gonna be. The more attention you're gonna have, and even the people who have something to say, what they still had to say is that she still made people millionaires. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And I'm still a person who've done business with the wrong people, and I wanted to bring other people with me. You know what I'm saying? And it made me look bad as well. So some of that
I have
stuff,
too.
Yeah, exactly. You know what I'm saying?
I've literally done. I've used 2 or 3 contractors that fucked me over, bro.
Right.
Like when I tell you fuck me over. Like
and shit rolled down.
So then in the process of doing business with them, I done referred them to somebody. Right. And then they fucked them over. Like I referred a contractor to my good friend, my attorney, DeMarcus. He's in the documentary.
Oh yeah.
And he had to go in on this dude, like threaten legal action on him. And I felt like shit because like I gave it to him. So that's why I'm a little bit more empathetic to DJ Envy, because I understand when you see somebody that really is trying to create change within our community, you want to give them the platform. But too often, a lot of these people, man, they get a little overzealous. Is that a good way to put it?
Overzealous, and then they want to help a lot of people, bro. And they think the person gonna be to them who they probably were to them.
Talk about it.
Like to the people, you know, that I was doing business with. You know, I was good. I was winning. You know what I'm saying?
Expecting you from other people.
No problem. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? You know, my checks was coming on time. Then I'm involving these other people. You know what I'm saying? It was going good for a while. Then when it all fell apart, you know what I'm saying? I'm left holding the bag. You know what I'm saying? Look like it's me that's doing fuck shit. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? When that's not me. That's not my character. You know what I'm saying? Like, I already know, like, your reputation, you know what I'm saying, precedes you before you get into any type of room. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? If there's rooms you want to be in, they already was talking about you. You know what I'm saying? So, like, I ain't trying to never do no fuck shit. And now we in the space of social media where people getting exposed and your name is here and there. There's no point of doing bad business because at some point it's going to stop you
come back around.
It's going to stop you from doing something you really wanted to do.
So how do you
thought you wanted to look $1,000 and you scammed somebody. But when you want to get this $10,000,
they're not going to fool with you.
They're not going to fool with you.
So how do you feel about that? And I ask because I sit back and watch stuff. Like, I have my own little platform. I sell a $9 course. I mean, if you can't buy the $9 course, it is what it is. I got a documentary, whatever. But
plug.
You know what I'm saying? I plug my shit. But here's the thing. That when people get put out there like that, it makes it so hard for people like me and people like you who genuinely show up, and I guess we expect us from other people who genuinely would give our all. I'll give you an example. The lady, the trucking person, right? And I don't know her. I'm not shitting on you. She was on, I saw a guy do a video about her.
On the blue couch?
And she was on I think it's Real Life Street Stars here in Dallas.
Okay. I think it's the blue couch, right?
Yeah, they got the little lights in the back.
Yeah.
Yeah. I reached out to them a couple years ago. Now, I'm not shitting on them. And I was like, hey, man, this is out of my comfort zone, but this is some shit I've been doing in the community. We doing some dope stuff. Like, we putting up a lot of money. Like, hey, I would love to get on your show and just kind of provide some balance. You know what I'm saying? Provide you somebody that's here in Dallas actually doing, man, we love what you're doing. We'll get back to you. And so then they put her on there, and they put somebody else on there. I ain't going to say their name, but they've already been called out for scamming. It's just like, at what point in the game does the culture put things in place to prevent people from scamming their people?
Man,
because you can smell the shit up. Like me, you can walk into a room and somebody can start talking about some shit that that you've done, that it don't work like that. And see, me and you, we just sit back and listen to them. We won't say shit. We just be thinking to ourselves, this motherfucker don't know what they talking about. Because the way we were brought up, you're not brought up to shit on people, and people just have to find it on their own. But at what point in the game does it become our job to say, to hold people accountable when they're making the whole group look bad? Because it's hard as a black man to talk about money.
There's a certain time and space, but I think certain people already kind of do that. Is it Tony the closer, or you know what I'm saying? Some of these people they do that, and that's their business or whatnot. I think it's on the individual. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you have some type of information, knowledge, understanding of the situation, then I wouldn't just blindly speak on nothing for a multitude of reasons. Well, shit, I don't know or whatever like that. But then when it comes back to something I do know and I do got some information on, then I'm gonna save you from being on this sinking ship. You know what I'm saying? Just because I got the information. But then you get into another problem. Well, don't be trying to save me. You know what I'm saying? Get out my business. You know what I'm saying?
That's what's wrong. You think y'all know everything.
Yeah, exactly. You know what I'm saying? So you get yourself, it could be a conundrum. You know what I'm saying? So it just depends on the person of whatever you want to do. Me, personally, I'm going to sit back, I'm going to watch, I'm going to let it unfold. And if I feel it in that moment, you know what I'm saying? I'm not going to always, every single time, feel like I just need to save everybody because that ain't my job. Maybe it's something in life there for them where they need to learn something. You know what I'm saying? Maybe there's some type of greater situation that's going to happen for them. But as far as a culture goes, man.
Why you think that we run away? Like we're gravitated to the shiny object. Like I said, the easy way to scam black folks is to pull up in a nice car. Because you know what I'm saying? Like, and don't get me wrong, I like nice cars. You know what I'm saying? Like, I like the way I live. I like everything about my life, right?
Yeah.
There's absolutely nothing wrong with having a nice car.
Right.
But I feel like within our community, what I've personally seen, I got a luxury car, and I have also a Honda Civic, right?
Right.
I don't get the same love when I pull up in that Civic talking about being a better person with your money.
Hell no.
You know what I'm saying? But you ain't going to pull up to your contractors in that Porsche either.
Right, exactly. Yeah. You see me the other day? I parked behind the bus. Like, I don't want her to see this car. You know what I mean? It's about two degrees. Like,
when people come to our house, I'll literally take our vehicles and I'll park them on the street, down the street.
Yeah, bro.
Like, they come, because they got to go to, like, I'm talking about like a contractor comes over. They got to go to the garage.
Yeah. I had the Porsche. Yeah. Before the Porsche, I had a Mercedes. Yeah. Even when I still didn't have no money, I had a BMW because I was still shiny object crazy, whatever like that. But still, when I was going to do business, you know what I'm saying? I'm parking in the back. I'm parking across the street. You know what I'm saying?
You don't want to be seen.
I don't want to be seen. I don't want the perception. I want you to feel like I'm... Because so first of all, here's the truth. I am still finna work just as hard as you. You know what I'm saying? So don't get that shit twisted. I'm going to go harder than you. How you think I got this Porsche in the first place?
Talk on
you know what I'm saying?
Speak on it.
So how you think I got this Porsche?
You're deserving of it because you work hard. I'm deserving of
it because I work hard for it. You know what I'm saying? So don't get it twisted. But I don't got time for you to get it twisted.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Right now. You know what I'm saying? I got something that I need to handle, and I need to handle it now and move forward. You know what I'm saying? I don't need you to judge me now, keep me from getting the contract, and then I got to backtrack and work harder again, you know what I'm saying, for something I work hard for in the first place. You know what I'm saying? So that's that. But as far as, shit, we all got shiny object syndrome. You know what I'm saying? Just like when we was coming up as men, you know, for bad bitch walk past, you know what I'm saying? Bad woman, whatever you want to call it. If she walk past, you know what I'm saying? That's who we all looking for, you know what I'm saying? But little behold, she got a bad attitude or something. You know what I'm saying? Same thing with women. He pull up with all the jewelry and the chain on. He disrespectful to women. He don't got no real money. You know what I'm saying? Damn. But that's what we pull up on first. So we all got this.
You think that's
this shiny object?
That's just inherently
human nature.
It's human nature, right?
You know what I'm saying? It's human nature, just like food. You know what I'm saying? We was talking about health and food earlier. You know what I'm saying? What tastes good ain't really what's best for you. You know what I'm saying? So it's all about having the opportunity to say, okay, I've been there before,
Yeah.
and that shit ain't it.
And it's like, how do you communicate that? It's like that's one of my struggles with mentoring, is being able to communicate the mistakes. Because when I was 18, 19, 20, 17, I ain't want to hear that shit. I call them my old heads now, man. A couple of them actually came to the premiere. One dude specifically came to the premiere. He was stationed in Alaska with me, man, when I was in the military. He called me Jack. He said, Jack, man, I ain't never in a million years think that you was going to be doing this shit right here. He said, because you were smart as fuck, but you had a hard head, bro. Like, we could literally hold up a sign and the instructions and tell you, don't do this. And you'd be like, all right, let me do it. And now, as an adult, I'm struggling because my nephew is doing the exact same thing. Bruh. My son is doing the exact same thing. The kids in my mentoring program.
Sometimes we still do it. I did it with my car the other day.
Yeah.
It's 2 chargers at where I live.
Yeah.
And one of them got stuck one time. I'm like, man, this can't happen twice.
Yeah.
Ain't no way it's gonna happen twice. I had to take it all the way to the car shop for them to pull the charger out.
Really?
And I did it again. I'm like, this ain't gonna happen twice. Couldn't get that shit out.
But mentally,
like,
you just knew you had the answer.
That was stupid. Like, you knew not to do that shit, but sometimes you just gotta test it, bro.
You gotta test it.
But yeah, it's just in our DNA, bro. Some people you just
and that's what I'm learning.
And it's why it's good for people to learn shit on their own, bro. It's like sometimes you gotta learn shit on their own. And so I wouldn't beat myself up. Like I give out the message, and it's gonna land where it need to be. You know what I'm saying? Some people do need some extra help. You know what I'm saying? Talk to them 2 times. Talk to them 3 times. But I ain't finna lose no sleep. I can't no more.
Nah, that's real, man. We gonna wrap it up on this note, man. I feel like it's important to have these conversations and to give out a little game, but it's also important for people to see what I like to call people that's just like them doing different things. So you were in the documentary, How to Kill a Black Man. I'm gonna ask you this question, man. How do you kill a black man? In today's society, how do you kill a black man?
I would say you break him down for what he's what he feels is most important. You know what I'm saying? Himself personally, his surroundings, his structure. You know what I mean? Who is supposed to be his important figures. You break down who he see. You know what I mean? You break down the society around him to where he feel like there's actually nothing else that I can do except for, rap, play basketball, sell drugs. You know what I'm saying? You break everything down around him to where you make it seem like he only have 2, 3, 4 options. You know what I mean? And then it'll be easier to push him right down that same path.
Damn. That wasn't even a long answer. Like that was you know what, man? I ain't gonna lie, this is kind of like therapeutic, bro, because for me, the light bulb went out. And first of all, anybody who knows me, anybody who watches our content, y'all know I don't care about giving people their props. I think that we live in an age now where everybody wants to be the author of the idea of change. Like, no, if somebody says some shit that changed the way you think, like, acknowledge it. Like, you said, like, with these kids, man, they respond based on what they see and what they know. A 14-year-old, all they know is what they can do physically, right?
Right.
You got to put them around different things. And then you said to kill them, you just break down what they know. Like, literally, you can erode a person's identity by eliminating their options and then controlling those options. Damn, right. I ain't look at it from that standpoint. I know that I will say over the past year specifically, I've softened my tone a little bit because everybody ain't going to get it when you get it. Right. And I had this thing I do where if I figured it out, well, shit, you should be able to figure it out because I'm not no smart nigga. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I say is, look, not to cut you off. What I say is, you're not tired. That's your problem. You gonna keep fucking up and doing all this dumb shit until you go to jail enough, until you get shot once, or you know what I'm saying, or something happened to your homeboy enough, or enough homeboys. The problem is you're not tired. Even when you 14, 15, you're not tired of getting Fs. You know what I'm saying? You're not tired of going to detention. You're not tired of these other niggas beating you up or whatever it is. You know what I'm saying? Because you still want to hang in the streets, but you ain't the nigga that can fight, but you still want to keep hanging with these niggas that keep beating you up. You're not tired of getting beat up. So you're not tired of what keeps going on to you over and over and over. So like you say, you can't expect everybody to get it right now. Well, they don't get it because they're not tired.
We're going to end it on that note, man. Like, there's nothing for me to say. You know how you watch a podcast and a motherfucker try to throw their pointer? There's nothing for me to say. Like, that spoke to me personally. Like, when I look at my own personal life, why I was able to hold on to certain situations, having that attachment to shit. I just wasn't tired yet. I wasn't tired to let go, knowing that certain things were just horrible, knowing it wasn't going to benefit. It's going to get worse.
How many times it's going to keep showing you this going to keep fucking you up? It's got to keep showing you. Hey,
I'm talking about right now.
I learn
in real
fast
life.
these days.
When I tell you, bro, my switch up meter is on fucking 10. If shit don't add up, there's no point in me to stick around. Like, I was just telling you before we got started, man, I went to Atlanta to go talk to some people about pitching this documentary. You know, we finna take How to Kill a Black Man is gonna be the #1 documentary in the world. Y'all gonna know Santo. Y'all gonna know DeMarcus. Y'all gonna know Reggie, LaMonica. You gonna know Mike. You gonna know Louis. Y'all gonna know their stories are gonna be household stories. And I'm busting my ass to get out there. But bro, this time 2 years ago, if I'd have flew into Atlanta, I'd have hung out with 4 or 5 people. We'd have kicked it. Right. I would have called the late flight the next day. Right. We'd have went to brunch. We'd have kicked it. I'd have got the late checkout. You know, I can get that 3 o'clock checkout because I travel that much. Bro, when I tell you I got to Atlanta at 5 p.m., I got to Atlanta at 2 p.m. on a Monday, was at my meeting by 5 p.m., the meeting was over at 7. I was back at the hotel. I ain't even rent no car. I had an Uber. The hotel was at the airport. My flight wasn't supposed to leave at 6 the next day. I woke up at 3 o'clock in the morning and caught the red eye.
And get out of there.
Got the fuck up out of there. Why? Because I'm good. Like, I'm tired of doing the same shit and getting the same results. Like, I'm literally doing the exact opposite of what I've always done. And I said, I'm going to take a full year, 365 days, and do the exact opposite. When I tell you I've gotten more shit done in the last 30 days.
Not only getting shit done, bro, it's like it's not appealing to us no more. You know what I'm saying? I'd have been to all the clubs and it's especially someplace like Atlanta or you know what I'm saying, or your Miami. Like if I
when they out there,
you know what I'm saying?
And I know Atlanta get a bad rep for whatever reasons, man. But I'm gonna tell you the other side of that reputation. They out there, okay? It's plenty.
Right. And then it's plenty. I ain't doing the same. If I'm going to the club, you know what I'm saying? I'm in London or something. It's because it's just a whole experience. It's not even the club. It's just I'm just getting some type of different culture, different type of experience. So I'm not wasting my time doing the same stuff that I've seen before that I'm used to. Yeah. When I could focus on handling this business, stacking this money up, and then actually go do something for real, for real. You stuck going to the clubs and all these same places and buying the same tennis shoes and the same clothes. Guess where it's going to keep you? Doing the same shit over and over and over. Damn. Until you get tired.
You get tired. Hey, well, on that note, listen, man, we finna get out of here. Santo. It's Santo, no S. People in Texas always put that S on it, man. God, we call them Santos. I think I slipped up and said it one time in the documentary. But Santo, my brother, where can we find you?
Man, find me at Instagram at Santo World. Same thing. I need help growing my TikTok, man. Santo World, SantoWorld. You know what I'm saying? That's pretty much on everything. And from there, I just, jump onto other platforms, man. And I'm trying to motivate, educate, and elevate.
Well, listen, man, you definitely did that in the documentary. Go check out the documentary, How to Kill a Black Man. Santo pops it off, man. You know what I'm saying? You know how when you young, in the fight about to jump off and one person swing and it just pop off? Santo popped it off, man. And he changed lives. I've had people inbox me and call me like, yo, that first brother from St. Louis, man, it just made sense what he was talking about. So shout out to my man Santo. Be sure to follow him at Santo World on Instagram and on TikTok, right?
Yes, sir.
You guys, this is the No More OGs podcast. I'm your host, Tim Jackson. I want to thank you so much for tuning in. Be sure to like, follow, subscribe. We're going to have more guests from the documentary, but be sure to get out there and get to the documentary. You want to say a last word to my people before you get up out of here, bro?
Hey, man, I appreciate y'all, bro. Definitely go check out the documentary. You won't be disappointed for sure. Great reviews.
Absolutely. Well, you guys, that's it. That's all I got for you. I'll talk to you soon. Peace.